Good afternoon. It is Barbara, the East Coast Dragon Lady. If I'm crooked, it's what I've got this on. You have to excuse me. I do have a wonderful summer cold, but I really felt that I needed to come. I don't know how this is. I've had this for a few days. I actually listened to the video that I did last Sunday because, as always, sometimes I forget what I've actually talked about, and I knew that a lot of stuff had happened this week, and I couldn't remember whether I'd shared it. So thankfully, I'm at least listened to the first half. I didn't listen to the reading. I am going to pull some cards for the week. I already have a couple of crow cards and a couple of goddess cards that they wanted me to pull to know what I was going to be talking about. But anyway, happy solstice. This is the summer solstice. We're already now officially halfway through the year, which is scary because where has 6 months gone? I feel like so much has changed, so much changed with me, so much has changed everywhere. I just listened to, oh, here I go again. I think the dragon, well, actually, I have a house full of dragons, and I'll tell you about that. I was just like, oh, here we go, the dragons are here. I always get this regurgitation when they're here, and I think that's also my dragon that wants to speak. And I've got an update on that. Like I predicted, if I gave it a few days, the person or the dragon that I was channeling has given me a lot of information, which is really cool. And some of you who have watched, and thank you for all of you that have watched that 45-minute video of me channeling who we now know his name is Edward, and it's like Edward but with a T on the end, and I'll explain to you about that. So he says he's from around the 17th century, and he's a higher aspect of me. So that's why I felt like I felt him within me, but it was actually him coming forward. So that again is exciting. But yes, it's solstice. And again, the energy, I can feel that the energy is shifted even from last night to today. It feels very earth. I feel very connected to earth. I can feel, it's almost like I can feel the vibration of the earth. I sat outside. It's actually not too bad here. We've got, again, it's unusual for us in the Northeast to have 100-degree days, but we've got intense heat, top 90s into the hundreds. A couple of days ago it was not pleasant. Yesterday and today was much nicer. I've been outside, and I feel so much better when I'm outside anyway, like a lot of you. But yes, I feel the energy shifted last night as we went into this new, and I know this, if you, on my Facebook page, I've been posting some stuff, but there's been a shift in that energy, and it feels much more earthy, that we're all more connected and tuned into the earth. I just got off a call about an hour ago. I was on a call with Kevin from the UK, all of us that are hosts for Dragon Thunder, which will be next month, July 13th, for us in the United States. It actually starts on the 12th in Australia. So if you're up to a few hours, like Saturday evening, I can't remember the time, but if you go onto the website, which I'll give you, and you sign up for it, you will see that it starts in Australia, then it goes to England, and then it comes here to the United States, 8:30 Pacific time, which is the 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. So kickoff here on the East Coast will be midday. We're going to start, warming up at 11:30, but the first speaker will be at 12, and then on the hour there will be 8 speakers, so we go through till 8:30, 9 o'clock that day. The energy is usually very high, very intense. My co-host is Kelly Springer, so she'll be on the West Coast, I'll be on the East Coast. we co-presented last year. So look out for that. Look out, there's going to be a lot more stuff coming out on the Facebook group, which is Dragon Thunder. You can find that. There's a big community there. You can check on my Facebook, and anybody that's connected with Dragon Thunder, you'll see posts coming out. It's less than $20 to sign up. If you can't afford that, there is a button that you can press for free. So we want people to be able to come. When you sign up, you will get access to the links. It will be recorded, and there's other pre-recordings. So there's a vast number. This is our 3rd year. So there's a lot on that. Was on a website that you can find all of the previous ones. I'm not sure if I will do a recorded one if I'm drawn to it. I found this year that I've been doing sort of other things. But there will be, Kelly's actually, I think she's on the Australian side, so's V. She's kicking off the Australian side. If you've seen any of my Dragon Hour podcasts, I think she's got an oracle deck and a book coming out. So lots of stuff happening. This is like got the second, so it's been 5. Oh, this is the last full week in June. Wow. So this coming week is the last full week in June. So what did I want to tell you? So Dragon Thunder. I've not done, I don't think this year I've done a newsletter. And I am playing with the idea of actually doing a video newsletter, which will, if you're on my mailing list, I will then send out to you on a monthly basis. I'm going to play around with that. I like actually getting on here and talking about things, sometimes writing all that down, even though there's a difference. So Merlin's just showed up and said, you have to write. And yes, it's different when we write, but sometimes I feel that I can articulate much better. So I may play around with that, may do a couple of, and I've done my video blogs. I'll give you an update on the Vatican dragons. So you can see, I feel like I've got I feel like I'm juggling right now. I did do some research this past week, which took me, I picked up a couple of things, and then of course I went down the rabbit hole. I'm still pulling some stuff together, but I've come across, and again, the Vatican always feels to me like it's talking about religion, and it seems that there's this religious history that I am being guided to go on a journey, which then led me to, and as I've told you, I was not brought up with any religious beliefs. My father didn't believe in it. So I viewed religion like history, and I have dabbled in the Bible. I haven't read it, but I was guided to the King James version of it. And then there's a huge section there were 14 books left out of that version. And one of them was about dragons. And I can't remember, again, this is just popped into my head, but there's a section in the Bible, or it was a book that would have been in the King James. Apparently it's in a couple of others, and I think I want to say it's, I can't even remember now, but it's not in the regular Bible. So dragons were in the Bible. So no big surprise that I connected with the Vatican dragons who were released from under the Vatican. They're going around the world, like they told me. They're just if you imagine the earth, and they're going around with the angels, the dragons, on a peace mission. And also in one of my parallel lives, I'm also on this peace mission. So it's all connected to white and healing. And then I found another connection to the white rose, which was an order that I was part of as a nun. So there's a lot of things surfacing that I need to pull apart, and I need to sit down and actually put that on paper. it almost feels like I'm doing ancestry. So what connects to that is, so that's an update on the Vatican dragons. I think I've done 5 video blogs. I will probably do one tomorrow, and then I'll probably get them put up on my website. If you haven't been to my website, it's www.eastcoastdragonlady.com. Everything that I've got is East Coast Dragon Lady something, so it makes it easy to find me. So I've talked about Dragon Thunder. So let me tell you about what I discovered from my transmission last weekend. It feels like it was a lot long ago, and it feels like this isn't new. This is just something I'm remembering. So Edward, I played around. I was getting some different spelling, so I started writing down what I was hearing, and eventually I came up with, it was Edward, and he said, yeah, and he was very particular, not Edward, but Edward. And Edward is an old English name. He refers to the 17th century. He's told me he was the oracle to the family Edward. So as the dragon, he was called Edward because that was their family name. And he said he was like a guide to the family, which was back in the 17th century, very, as I said, I felt very regal. They had money, so they could afford things, and he counseled them, is how he's saying. He's showing me sort of sitting sort of very oracle-like, and they would connect with him. So that's how he got his name. He is, in fact, he originates from Mars, and that's why when I had, in my Akashic records, I've seen myself, that I was shown Mars as it is currently, which I saw nothing on it, but they told me there was a lot more going on in the inside of Mars, and actually in part of my that channeling, that's exactly what Edward said. So that was interesting, that as he is a higher aspect of me, my soul origin is from Mars, as he is from Mars. So no big surprise for me anyway. But it was that's where his soul originated from. He doesn't connect like I don't. I spent a lot more time on Andromeda in other lifetimes. So even though I started there, I did, and I have a lot more traits of Andromeda B than I do of Mars. But nonetheless, that was my soul's beginning, which would make sense, a higher aspect of me. Fascinating, some of the feedback that people have given me. One person in particular took notes, and she pointed out on different parts of the video, around my solar plexus, there was like an entity, or it was like a blue, almost like a blue bubble. Excuse me. And the first thing that she saw, now she didn't know anything about me losing my dog. She said it was a dragon with a dog's face. And I immediately said, oh, that was Diesel. So my dog, who I told you before he left, a dragon appeared and took him across the Rainbow Bridge and gave him wings. And he'd already told some of you as well, when he was sick, that he was a dragon. And my or some other dragons had told me several years ago that he was in fact a dragon. So as he's now my dragon guide, so he's actually a small dragon, purple. He's if you imagine, he's a min pin, so he's a terrier size. He was like 20, he wasn't even 20 pounds. He's got wings, but he's got big wings on a dog, and that's who he is. So that was really sweet, but very confirming that, my dog had passed, he had gained his wings, he was a dragon. And my son then looked at it, and he said there were other parts of that video where this sort of bubble, was an orb, moved. So check it out. I'm sure it's like when I did the fairies, and if you open up that orb, I'm sure there's a face in it. So interesting. After I realised that, and after coming back from Hollyoak, I realised that my house, as I said, I'm like, my house is full of dragons. It's not a bad thing. It's just that these dragons are all like, well, we've been here, and now you know we're here. And that has really changed the frequency in my home. Like I said, I've got more animals showing up. My crow is showing up every day. Gerald was here again this morning. He's staying for longer. He's usually checking me out. I'm still keeping my distance inside because if I move too quickly, then everybody out. He was shooing away the squirrels who thought, just because the crow's here, we're going to get up there. And he was like, oh, no. The smaller birds stay away until he's come. I also got a bird bath because I love to see when I've done this before. So I got and I took a picture of it with a fountain in it, which is solar run, and it sprays. And oh my goodness, I have to go out there, fill it up like 3 times a day because they love to jump in it. And I will get some photos of it, or I take a video. But they're loving the water. It's been very hot. There's not a lot of standing water, and I have a couple of other things around that they drink out of, but I wanted to make sure that they could keep cool. So I'm sure that's going to bring more. I've had the woodpeckers have come. I think I've put some of the feed out of their bird feed out, which has got fruit and nuts, and I think that's what's attracted the hairy woodpecker, the smaller woodpecker, and the crow. He seems to come and take most of the fruit. I know crows will eat anything, but he seems to like the fruit. So what else was I going to say? I talked about the newsletter. Oh yes, so the other part was, and it's a good job I looked because I would have forgotten all of this. So again, the person that saw the orb said that while I was lying down, she saw water cascading out the back of my head. So it was like a waterfall, and I talked about inner earth and the waterfall, so it was coming out of me. The comment about when I got the dragon's egg that was given to me as a placeholder, now this one just blew me away, that she got the message that I was the mother of dragons, but of orphaned dragons. So the placeholder was, this is how I interpret it, so when they gave me the egg, it wasn't that I'm going to be incubating it, it was to hold a place for yet another orphan dragon. So in one of my lifetimes, or one of my parallel lives, and I've just got the full body chills to confirm that, I took care of orphan dragons. So probably as a dragon, I was dragon mother. I'm definitely hearing that I was dragon mother, that the dragons that didn't have dragons to take care of them, they came to me. So the placeholder was so that they know, and it's silver, so it's about this size, it's silver, but it gives off a frequency, is what they're telling me. There's a frequency to it that will tell and they're showing me from galaxies, from stars, that dragons know if there's lost dragons, dragons that don't have family, they will bring them to me. So huge honor, huge honor. And again, I have full body chills that I've been given such a wonderful task. Probably goes along with, as I shared the other day, that it took me a long time to become a mom. So no big surprise that the dragons chose me for that. So huge. And again, I'm honored. I did a fabulous meditation last night, connecting with Isis and that Egyptian energy, which has always fascinated me. I will post about that. The crows wanted me to read these, so I've already, where are we? We're 20 minutes in. I pulled 2 cards, 2 of the cards that are the goddess cards. There's the goddess Una, which of course is Irish, and that's easy does it. I've pulled this a few times for people. There is no need to hurry or force things to happen. Everything is occurring in perfect timing. So remember that. Don't force things. And Goddess Isolot, undying love. So this is what I talked about last week. The love you have shared is eternal, regardless of the situation. So this is a message to all of us that that when we loved, it wasn't wasted. It was I'm seeing as it ran off some people, but it wasn't wasted because it went into Mother Earth. So don't ever feel that you wasted your time loving somebody because it didn't work out. It's about putting that love out there regardless. And one of the crow cards, so these flow together, is about community. And they wanted me to read about community and abundance. So again, a lot of this is about what I'm feeling, but and I was the biggest skeptic for the longest time when I've been doing this work for a while. And when I used to hear people talk about love is the answer, love is all we need, I was like, yeah, really? I don't think so. But I keep referring back to that. It literally is all we can do once we have allowed the things that have been stuck to us, once we've allowed those to leave. And trust me, it's taken me many lifetimes to get to this point, but I feel so much freer that I've been able to let it go. And now I just feel that all you can do is send out love. It's all we can do. Like, don't worry, because, and if you listen to other people, they talk about this as well, that worrying gets us nowhere, that everything's happening in perfect timing. And just the love that we've had in this time and other lifetimes is eternal. And what we put out, we get back. So if you're not putting it out, you're not getting it back. And like I shared last week, my aha moment was, rather than trying to pull things to me, I need to put out what I want and attract it, because there's the law of attraction. And, you know, we could talk forever about the law of attraction, but it is what you put out is what you get back. When I've had down times, nothing has happened, right? Once you realize we're in control of everything we do. Everything we need is inside us. So we don't need to look anywhere else. But we do have people to help us, and they're the crows. So this is what they wanted me to read to you. So the crow, which brings in abundance. And this is the first card in this beautiful deck. It's the Urban Crow Oracle Guide by M.J. Cullinane. So abundance. The crow on one side of the bay knows that the cannery is the source. I'm going to turn, it's a fan I've got on here. So this person lives in Seattle, I believe, that did this oracle deck. Oh, she's on the back cover, yeah. Margot Jones, Seattle-based artist. Right, the crows on one side of the bay know that the cannery is the source of a steady and easy meal, making gathering food an effortless task, and as a result, they spend their days enjoying their location. However, the crows who reside on the other side of the bay, where the food is scarce, find searching for food much more difficult, and as a result, much of their days are spent focused on survival. The crows who do not live on the cannery side of the bay are unaware that an easy food source exists, but a short distance away, nor do they have the time or energy to waste exploring areas further away. Abundance brings a reminder that there is a place where you, too, will find a myriad of possibilities. Focus your energy and attention on not what you lack, but what you know is out there waiting for you. Let your intentions be your guide. Abundance may appear if you need a reminder from your current position. You might not see what is out there waiting for you. Of course, most of the time, this card represents a positive outcome. However, because these crows can be a bit cheeky, the meaning could very well indicate an abundance of something less favorable, such as an abundance of water in your basement. So go figure that one. But that is just what I said. I didn't even read this. So that's just what I've said. What you put out is what you get back. I don't have a basement, so I don't water in my basement. But you see what they're talking about, the abundance. Like when you put it out there, it will come back to you. So that was that card. And the other one was community, which was what I was talking about love. And this is the 10th card. And again, you can see I've got a cold, but and that beeping hasn't stopped for 3 weeks. It should run out by now. I think I told you the story. I had my stairs redone about 6 years ago, I think it was. So what? It was just after. How long has it been since COVID? 5 years. So after COVID, had my stairs done, a cabinet or a cupboard put over the stairs, so I could get stuff up and down. I didn't realize that the smoke detector got dropped behind the wall when they made it. About a year later, the beeping started. There's no way I can find it. It's stuck in the wall somewhere. And I got this probably about 3 or 4 weeks, and then it stopped. And then fast forward a few years, it was when my brother was here, the beeping started again. So I've just got to wait for it to die again. But who knew that they would just revive? So if the beeping yes, I do know it's there. It's not my smoke detector. It's stuck in the wall. I said there must be a message there for me. I think it's just patience, because it is annoying. So community. Here in the Seattle area, we have 3 big roosts. The largest, I believe, is the one at the UW Bothell campus. Each of these roosts serve as a community. It is a sanctuary. It is a place for the crows to retreat to in the evenings, where they are accepted and comforted. Lean on your community. Lean into groups of people who you feel most at peace with during times of friction or stress. When you pull community, think of it as a nudge to connect with a group that interests you. Not only will you find new opportunities there, you will become part of the group focused on a similar goal. Community may also indicate that you would benefit from examining your relationships within a group or belief system. Are your goals and beliefs in alignment with the group's philosophy? Do you remain without a community because it's simply part of your history, but your involvement or participation is limited, and as a result, you feel disconnected? You may need to consider if the philosophy of the community that you no longer connect with is still impacting your decisions or your perception of events. So that very much speaks to me. I'm going to put the fan back on because it's getting humid. I've walked away from a couple of communities over the years. I'm a people pleaser. I often don't want to be the one that says, no, it's not working. But this shift in me, that's exactly what it's like. If I don't align, or it's not, if it isn't for me, then I do have to step away. And that takes a lot of courage. So all these things are not easy. It's like walking away from a relationship. I mean, when do you say enough is enough? I was not good at that. I'm getting up there in age. I was married for 24 years. It took a lot of courage to walk away from that because I had children by that time, but I didn't want my boys, to think that it was okay to treat women that way. So I walked away. And it is that I needed that in my life. It shaped what happened to me for the next 25 years, which is where I am currently. But I've said this before, I would not, if I'd have stayed in that relationship, I could have written the script, and it wouldn't have been, I wouldn't have been happy. I walked away from that, not knowing what was going to happen. I was the captain of my ship. I don't know where that analogy comes from, but they're going, you're the captain of your ship. So I was in the driving seat, and yes, it's been scary. Yes, I didn't know I still don't know what's going to happen. But now that I've got the dragons around me, now I've got, higher aspects of myself, now that I've got all these things, I understand that we're not alone. So I think that's the message I want you to take away from this. We're not alone. And if you do feel alone, connect with me, because we can tap into where are your guides, who are your guides, all of those sort of things, because I can condense what took me 25 years to scoop up. I can condense that for you and help you understand. I know oftentimes we have to go through those things. We have to have those lessons. But I can be your guide. And again, that was just channeled. I'm not sure from where. That was just channeled. They're telling me, put yourself out there, Barbara. I'm a lighthouse. I'm a beacon. Like if we're doing the ship analogy, lighthouses tells you that's the coast, or beacons are there. I saw there's lots of circles. There's lots of domes. There's all sorts of geometry. Like swirling around right now. The biggest thing is reach out, if it's not me, to other people that understand where you are right now and how to get you to where you want to be. So I'm going to leave you with that. Again, I am thankful for this community. I'm thankful for all of you that have found me via YouTube. I'm thankful for all of you that have joined my Facebook group. Please spread my videos. Please spread what I'm helping people do. You can go to my website. I told you earlier on, it's www.eastcoastdragonlady.com, or you can email me at eastcoastdragonlady@gmail.com. And I look forward to bringing you, I'll probably do another blog on the Vatican. I'm going to pull cards tomorrow for Sunday, and I'm going to take it from there. I will think more about putting out by the end, which gives me this week to think about it, but maybe do a video for July's updates, because I know often you get a lot of emails at the beginning of the month, so I was doing mine mid-month, but I'll get something out to you. I've just got to rethink that. But again, have a great week. If you've got questions, if you have questions around my channeling, anything that comes up, doesn't have to be dragon related, because I tap into other things as well. But the dragons are my guides. It's like having guiding angels. I've got dragons. So have a good week, and I'll be back soon.